grab a cup of tea and get comfortable. I feel like today is one of those episodes where we're just going to relax and enjoy ourselves.
I agree. There's something about today's topic that already feels familiar and comforting, even before we start.
Yes, it's like the moment you hear the word music, your shoulders drop a little.
That's true. Music has that effect. It sneaks into your life quietly, and then suddenly it's everywhere.
Exactly. And today, we're talking about music and popular American artists of the 21st century.
Which is a big topic, but also a very human one.
Big topic, but no pressure. We're not making a list of the greatest of all time.
Thank you for that. My stress level just went down.
Before we dive in, quick reminder, if you enjoy natural English conversations like this, don't forget to subscribe. It really helps us keep creating for you.
And it lets us keep talking about things we genuinely enjoy.
Exactly. Okay, George, very simple question to start. What kind of music do you usually listen to?
It really depends on the day. Sometimes I like calm music in the background, other times I want something energetic. But American artists definitely make up a big part of my playlists.
Same here. I don't always think about it, but when I look at my phone, so many songs are by American artists.
That's because American music has a huge global influence, especially in the 21st century.
Softly, and it's interesting how different generations connect to different artists.
Very much so.
When I think about American music in the 2000s, the first thing that comes to my mind is pop.
That's a good place to start.
I mean, you couldn't escape it. It was everywhere, on the radio, on TV, in movies.
And pop music really shaped how people experienced culture at that time.
Who do you think of first when we talk about American pop artists of the 21st century?
Honestly, Beyoncé.
Same. Instantly.
She's more than just a singer. She's a cultural figure.
And her music feels very emotional, but also very strong.
Yes, she represents confidence, independence, and creativity.
I think many people don't just listen to her songs, they feel inspired by her.
Exactly. That's when an artist becomes more than entertainment.
And for English learners, pop music is often the first connection to English.
That's very true. Pop songs usually have clear pronunciation and simple language,
You hear the same phrases again and again.
which is perfect for learning. You start to pick up expressions without realizing it.
Oh, that's a good one. Pick up.
Very useful.
Another artist that defined the early 20th century for me is Taylor Swift.
That makes sense.
Softly, she tells stories. Her songs feel like little diaries.
And her lyrics are very conversational, almost like someone talking to a friend.
Exactly. That's why so many people feel connected to her music.
And for English learners, her songs are great for understanding everyday language and emotions.
Breakups, growing up, changing as a person.
Universal topics.
Do you think music tastes change as people get older?
Yes, but also no. People often stay emotionally connected to the music they loved in their teens or early 20s.
Oh yes, that music stays with you forever.
It becomes part of your memory.
Sometimes you hear a song and suddenly you're back in a different moment of your life.
That's the power of music.
When we move a bit away from pop, hip-hop and rap are impossible to ignore in American music.
Absolutely. Hip-hop really defines the 21st century in many ways.
Who comes to mind first for you?
Artists like Eminem, Jay-Z, later Kendrick Lamar.
Very different styles, but all very influential.
Yes, and hip-hop often reflects social issues, personal struggles, and real life.
It's not always easy language, though.
That's true. Rap can be challenging for English learners because of speed, slang, and rhythm.
But it's also very real.
Exactly. It shows how people actually speak in certain contexts.
I think one important thing for learners is not to understand every word.
Yes, sometimes it's better to get the feel of the song.
Another useful expression.
We're doing well today.
Hip-hop artists often tell very personal stories.
And not honesty connects with listeners.
Even if you don't share the same life experience, you can still feel the emotion.
That's the universal part of music.
What about rock music? Do you think it's still important in the 21st century?
I do, but it's different now. Rock isn't as dominant in the mainstream, but it still has a loyal audience.
Bands like Linkin Park come to mind for me.
Yes, they blended rock with electronic and hip-hop elements,
And their lyrics spoke to emotional pain and confusion.
which many young people related to. Exactly.
One thing I notice about American artists is how openly they talk about emotions now.
That's a big change. In the past, showing vulnerability wasn't always encouraged.
Now it feels more accepted to talk about mental health, anxiety, and self-doubt.
Music plays a big role in that shift.
And that brings us to more recent artists.
Yes, the newer generation.
Artists like Billie Eilish.
She represents a very different kind of pop star,
Quiet, dark, emotional, very honest.
and very relatable for younger listeners.
Sometimes her songs feel like thoughts you usually keep to yourself.
That's a good way to describe it.
For English learners, newer artists often use very simple language.
Yes, short sentences, repetition, clear emotions.
You don't need a huge vocabulary to understand the feeling.
Exactly.
Music is also a great way to practice listening without pressure.
Yes, you can listen while walking, cooking, or relaxing.
You don't need to stop and study every line.
You just let it play and let your brain work in the background.
Do you think American music influences how people speak English?
Definitely. Many people learn pronunciation, slang, and rhythm from songs.
Even the way people express emotions.
Yes, phrases from songs often become part of everyday speech.
You suddenly hear people quoting lyrics without realizing it.
Exactly.
I think music makes English feel less like a school subject.
And more like a living language.
Something you feel, not just understand.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
In the next part, I'd love to talk more about how music connects to identity, culture, and emotions, and maybe share a few personal moments too.
And we'll look at how listeners can use music as a real tool for learning English, not just entertainment.
You know, while we were talking just now, I kept thinking about how music often becomes part of who we are, not just something we listen to, but something we carry with us.
I feel the same way. Music quietly shapes identity, especially when you're young.
Yes, when you're a teenager, the music you love feels very personal, almost like it understands you.
Sometimes better than people do.
Exactly. And American artists of the 21st century really tap into that feeling. I think that's why so many people around the world feel emotionally connected to American music, even if they've never been to the US.
Music crosses borders very easily. You don't need perfect English to understand emotion.
A melody can say a lot without words.
And when words are there, they often feel very direct and honest.
One thing I notice is how personal lyrics have become.
Yes, many artists now write about their real lives, not just fictional stories.
Breakups, family, pressure, success, fear.
And listeners can relate to that very easily.
Oh, that's a great expression, relate to.
Very common in everyday English.
Let's talk a bit more about hip-hop because it's such a huge part of American culture now.
Definitely. Hip-hop isn't just music, it's a voice.
A way of talking about reality.
Yes, artists like Kendrick Lamar use music to tell complex stories about society and identity.
His songs feel almost like conversations, but very intense ones.
That's true. They require attention.
Do you think hip-hop is useful for English learners?
It can be, but it depends on your level.
Because of slang?
Slang, speed, and cultural references. It's better to listen without pressure and just catch the vibe.
Catch the vibe. I love that.
It's very natural English.
And sometimes it's okay to not understand the words, but understand the mood.
Exactly. That's still learning.
On the other side, pop music often feels very clean and clear.
Yes, artists like Katy Perry or Lady Gaga use simple structures and repetition.
Repetition is a gift for learners.
It really is.
You hear the same phrase again and again, and suddenly it feels natural.
That's how you get used to a language.
Do you remember the first American song you really loved?
Hmm, that's a good question. I think it was something from the early 2000s, a song that felt emotional but also catchy.
Those songs stay in your heart.
They do.
For me, music often connects to places.
How so?
I hear a song and remember where I was when I first listened to it. A room, a city, a feeling.
Music creates memories very quickly.
Faster than photos sometimes. American artists also shape fashion, language, and behavior.
Yes, you hear expressions from songs used in everyday speech.
People start dressing like artists, copying their style.
That's cultural influence in action.
For English learners, music can also reduce fear.
Yes, singing along is less scary than speaking.
You're not alone. The music supports you.
And your pronunciation improves naturally.
I love how singing helps people loosen up.
Another great expression.
We're collecting quite a few today.
We are.
For me, music often connects to rhythm and intonation.
Very much. English has a musical rhythm, and songs make it easier to feel.
Especially for learners who struggle with stress and sentence flow.
Exactly.
What about emotional honesty and newer artists?
That's one of the biggest changes in the 21st century.
Artists openly talk about sadness, anxiety, confusion.
And that openness helps listeners feel less alone.
Music becomes a kind of quiet support. I think that's why playlists matter so much now.
Because people choose music for their mood?
Exactly. Calm music, focus music, sad music, happy music.
Music for every moment.
And when you listen in English, you're learning without forcing yourself.
That's the best kind of practice.
When learning feels natural. If you had to give one piece of advice to English learners using music, what would it be?
Don't turn music into homework.
Yes, please.
Listen for enjoyment first. Let the language come naturally.
That feels important. Music also connects generations.
Yes, parents and children can share songs.
Even if they understand them differently.
That's a beautiful thing.
I feel like we could talk about this forever.
That's always a good sign.
But in the final part, I'd love to slow down a little and reflect on why music matters so much in our lives, especially when learning a language.
And will gently bring everything together.
You know, as we slow down a little now, I keep thinking about how music stays with us even when everything else changes.
Yes, jobs change, places change, people come and go, but certain songs stay.
They become like emotional bookmarks in our lives.
That's a great image.
And for people learning English, those songs often become their first emotional connection to the language.
Which is incredibly powerful.
I think that's why learning English through music feels less lonely.
You feel accompanied.
Exactly. Even if you're listening alone, it feels like someone is speaking directly to you.
And that feeling makes people want to keep going.
When you think about American artists of the 21st century as a whole, what do you think they represent?
I'd say freedom of expression. Artists feel more comfortable showing different sides of themselves now.
Strength and vulnerability at the same time.
Yes, and that balance feels very modern.
I also noticed that genres mix more than ever.
Definitely. Pop mixes with hip-hop, rock mixes with electronic music.
It's like artists don't want to be put in a box anymore.
Which mirrors how people feel about identity in general.
For English learners, that variety is helpful.
You can choose what fits your mood and level.
Slow songs for relaxing, catchy pop for repetition.
Or more complex songs when you want a challenge.
And there's no right artist to listen to,
Exactly. The best music is the music you enjoy.
because enjoyment keeps you coming back.
And consistency matters more than intensity.
And music also teaches patience.
How so?
You don't understand a song fully the first time or the second,
True.
but one day you suddenly understand a line that used to be confusing.
That moment feels very rewarding.
And that's when you realize you've been learning all along. I think that's a good lesson for language learning in general,
Agreed. Progress often happens quietly.
without big announcements.
You just wake up one day and realize things feel easier.
Music also gives people permission to feel.
Yes, to feel sad, happy, confused, hopeful.
And feeling is part of learning a language too.
You're not just learning words, you're learning how to express yourself.
That makes me think about confidence again.
Confidence grows when you feel connected, not judged.
And music never judges you.
That's true.
For anyone listening right now who feels shy about English, music can be a gentle starting point.
You can sing quietly, hum along, or just listen.
No pressure to perform.
Just exposure and comfort.
Let's gently revisit a few expressions we used today.
Sounds good.
We talked about how you can pick up English naturally through music.
How it helps you get the feel of the language.
Nods, how listeners can relate to artists and their stories.
How repetition helps you get used to English sounds.
And how music helps you loosen up and feel more relaxed.
Very useful phrases.
What about you? Tell us in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Which American artists do you listen to, and how does music help you with English?
As we come to the end, I just want to say thank you for sharing this quiet time with us.
These conversations feel special because of the people listening.
Music, language, emotions, they connect us in simple ways.
And not connection matters.
Thanks for being part of our little English journey.
Wherever you are, have a wonderful day.
If you liked this episode, subscribe, leave a like, and share it. It really helps our little studio grow.